Hello and welcome to round 16 of the 2025 Super Formula One World Championship, the Monza Grand Prix. We return to Italy for the second and final time this year for the historic 35-lap race around Monza. This 3.6-mile track is known as the Temple of Speed and has seen some of the great races during its time in SF1. The home of Scuderia Ferrari saw Charles Leclerc win back in 2022 as well as a pole in 2024, but the last two runnings of this race have been won by Lando Norris. Let's see who's got it this year and take a look at the starting grid.
Starting at the back, Liam Lawson starts alongside teammate Isaac Hadjar in 19th. Pierre Gasly starts 18th alongside teammate Franco Colapinto in 17th. The user, Lance Stroll, starts 16th alongside Alexander Albon in 15th. Nico Hülkenberg starts P14 next to Esteban Ocon P13, and then Oliver Bearman starts 12th next to Carlos Sainz in 11th. Gabriel Bortoleto starts 10th next to fellow rookie Kimi Antonelli in 9th, and then Fernando Alonso starts alongside Yuki Tsunoda. Max Verstappen in P6 alongside Lando Norris in 5th, and then teammates Lewis Hamilton and Charles Leclerc share row 2. Oscar Piastri starts P2, with George Russell taking his 5th pole this year.
And we are underway from Monza. Tense moments on the straight shot run down towards the infamous turn 1. It looks like Leclerc is already drawing alongside Piastri with that slipstream from behind Russell as they get the car slowed down for turn 1. And it looks like Leclerc will get ahead of Piastri. The rest of the car is filing through, trying to avoid contact. No major incidents so far as they continue on down. Lewis Hamilton on the inside of Lando Norris coming around Curva Grande. He defends his position and now slowing back down for the Della Rosia chicane. Everything looks clean there. It looks like Alonso in the middle of the battle. Tsunoda and Antonelli in there as well. That's Antonelli and Ocon going wheel to wheel through Lesmo 1, and Antonelli wins out on that one. Ocon's gained 3 places already here at the start. But back out front, George Russell getting away well with the lead of this race. One lap done and Russell holding on to that lead, but he's already going to have pressure from behind as Leclerc is there, Piastri is there. Leclerc powering ahead and into the lead before they get to turn 1. Russell's going to be boxed in between them. Piastri looking for a move to the inside for the lead, but Leclerc on the defense holds on to the place and now leads the Monza Grand Prix from Piastri. Then Russell losing 2 spots just a sitting duck on the straight. The top 3 are going to go at it again with each other into turn 1. Russell weaving, trying to find an opening. Piastri trying to draw alongside Leclerc. He's going to have that inside into the chicane, but he's not fully alongside as they enter Rettifilo. Watch Hamilton, he's gone around the outside of Russell. Tight coming out of the chicane, but Hamilton is ahead. Wasn't really close coming down the straight, but now he's into 3rd. Oscar Piastri is going to have another go at this. He's still not quite alongside, headed down into turn 1. That looks like it may remain the same as Leclerc stays ahead. Jumps the curb a bit, and that compromises his exit, but he stays ahead. And now Hamilton getting alongside the chicane and now pulls ahead of Piastri. And so Ferrari now run 1-2, only 4 laps into this race. Now down into the Della Rosia chicane. Watch Verstappen from a ways back on Norris, sending it into the chicane and moving up into the top 5 now. The top 6 drivers on the grid all swapping positions. Around Curva Grande, and now Verstappen is closing in on Russell. Doesn't look like he'll go for it here, but Norris arrives to the back of Verstappen, and that is surely contact and likely damage for them. Norris couldn't get it slowed down in time. But Hamilton's close down the back stretch and he's moved to the inside. Both Ferraris headed to Parabolica side by side. Leclerc in the lead, but Hamilton's got the inside. And Lewis Hamilton comes through and takes the lead. And now that's brought Piastri back into the picture. As Verstappen and Norris pit with damage, but back out front, Russell trying to find a way through. He's jumped Piastri. The Ferraris are still alongside one another, and the other 2 behind are waiting for an opportunity. Leclerc nearly edging out Hamilton, but Hamilton maintains and now leads the Monza Grand Prix from his teammate Russell back into P3. Ocon threatening a move on Carlos Sainz for 5th now as they cross the line. Ocon moving to the inside early and not powering ahead. Just a drag race down to turn 1. Sainz still right there with him. And now coming out of the chicane, they are still side by side. Going wheel to wheel now, coming around Curva Grande. Ocon inching ahead, but neither giving up the position. Sainz is still right there, and he will have the initial inside for De La Roggia. Under braking now, and Ocon inches ahead, and now covers off on the exit. Esteban Ocon moves up to 5th. Great clean racing between those two. Norris back into the pits with even more damage, this time with Colapinto, and he will feed back out right around Behrman, who beats both of them out, so Norris is down in dead last. On board with Piastri into De La Roggia, and he goes around the outside to get by Russell and back up into P3. Leclerc will be alongside Hamilton this time coming down the straight. Piastri looking for a way in as well. Leclerc is on the inside, but we've seen this already, and Hamilton comes out of the first chicane still leading, but Leclerc is still chasing, so this battle will continue, but for how much longer? As they come around Curva Grande, going on board with Leclerc, doesn't make a move at the second chicane. He's staying put for now, but he just made contact with Hamilton under braking. Has the battling boiled over for the two Ferraris in just 9 laps. Emerging out into Ascari, now Leclerc's looking to the inside. Piastri going as well. 3 cars cannot fit into the Ascari chicane together. Leclerc backs out. Hamilton on the outside, and Piastri jumps both Ferraris. What a lunge by Oscar Piastri. Hamilton trying to come back at him, but they're at a disadvantage. Russell's approaching as well. It's fallen away from Ferrari here at Monza. They come around Parabolica single file, but Hamilton and Leclerc are headed in with slight damage. What a nightmare scenario for them as they look the quickest so far. Now possibly all gone as that leaves Oscar Piastri to the lead on the Monza Grand Prix from George Russell and promotes Carlos Sainz and Esteban Ocon to 3rd and 4th place. They've been having their own battles, and now it could be for a podium as Ocon promptly moves to the inside. Ocon has had a podium at Monza. It was his first back in 2022 with Alpine as the Ferraris come back out 6th and 7th ahead of Verstappen, but Verstappen is battling Alonso and Leclerc gets thrown in right there. Coming into turn 1, Verstappen swoops from around the outside. Leclerc not yet up to speed, and so the Red Bull moves up to 7th. Hulkenberg going at it with Alonso as well, and it looks like he got ahead. So now Hamilton and Verstappen re-enter the pits with damage again, not only setting them further back, that gets Leclerc back up to 6th and moves Hulkenberg and Alonso further up the order as well. A comeback is possible at Monza, and good points for the midfield today as Hulkenberg lunges to the inside on Leclerc, Redifilo, wheel to wheel there. For a moment it looked like he was going to get that move done. Stroll cuts across to cover off the inside. Leclerc drawing alongside on the outside. Into Ascari they come. Ooh, wheel banging between the two, but Leclerc powering his way through, although it won't matter as he and Hulkenberg will both be in with damage from their coming together at the De La Roggia chicane. Starting to get hectic in the midfield now with all these cars jumbled together. Lando Norris right in that mixture going into Parabolica, and he's just past Gasly now to the inside of Albon. That's 2 places gained on track, but now with Leclerc and Hulkenberg in, Antonelli going in as well, this will promote Norris back into the points. It may be close between him and Leclerc coming over the line, but he's already up to speed and up into 7th, and that will put him into clean air. So quite the recovery effort by Norris to try salvaging something from this race as this pack of cars flies through the first chicane. Leclerc down in 14th. Sainz and Ocon side by side into Parabolica, but Ocon's got the inside, and coming around the corner, Esteban Ocon's got third place. Here comes Lewis Hamilton on Lando Norris down into turn one. Hamilton trying to recover his own race. He has the advantage for the first part of chicane, but Norris stays right with them. Coming out of Redafilo, there's Verstappen further back in between Gasly and Bortoleto, who both look to be ahead of the Red Bull. Colapinto and Hulkenberg going at it as well, but back up front, Hamilton and Norris in a drag race around Curva Grande. Norris will have the inside for the next chicane, but Hamilton trying to inch ahead. Coming into the chicane now, and Hamilton placing his car perfectly and getting that move done. Further back, Verstappen and Gasly still going at it, and Verstappen looks to have gone back ahead of the Alpine and into 10th place. The two Aston Martins going at it now, Stroll maintaining 5th for a majority of his initial stint, but Alonso is caught up and looks to get ahead of his teammate, and does. Further back, Norris and Hamilton still battling, and Hamilton staying ahead, then Verstappen and Gasly as well, with Verstappen staying ahead. Where will Ocon and Sainz come out after coming together? They were in no man's land in 3rd and 4th, but they may not beat out Norris and Hamilton, who are having a battle of their own these past few laps. Hamilton inching ahead, but both beat out Ocon and Sainz and now return to 3rd and 4th place. Norris still hanging around, going for 3rd coming out of chicane, and he's gotten a good exit as well, and Hamilton is right with them, so this will once again carry down to turns 4 and 5. Hamilton looks to be a touch quicker on that inside coming around Curva Grande. But now they come to the chicane, and Norris stays close, and they come out of the chicane, side by side. This is going to carry down into the two Lesmos. Ocon just waiting for one of them to make a mistake, but Hamilton finally pulls ahead out of Lesmo 1. Now watch Sainz down the inside of Lesmo 2. He's just made up 2 places. Carlos Sainz watching it all unfold from behind, waiting for the right moment and jumping back up into 4th when the opportunity presented itself. Stellar driving from the former Ferrari driver who knows how to race up near the front, but this does look like it will continue into Ascari. Ocon and Norris are close. Ocon covering Norris off, and now has to defend on the back straight, but it looks like Norris got a poor run through Ascari because he's dropped off. It's Hamilton, Sainz and Ocon all towing each other along into Parabolica. Everyone's staying put through that final corner. Sainz and Hamilton are coming in. They must have made contact, and that is horrible for both. All that work now undone. That puts Ocon in 3rd once again, and Norris in 4th. But Lando Norris is not satisfied with 4th. He's in the superior car, and he powers ahead of the Haas before they even get to braking. Remember, he's come from dead last at one point in this race to sifting through the traffic, the damage, and now runs in P3. But Ocon is not going to give this one up. He moves late to the inside, trying to catch Norris napping a bit. Norris fights it back and looks to have the advantage on the exit, coming around Curva Grande and now moving to cover off Ocon. Here comes Esteban Ocon as they emerge into Ascari. He's not giving this one up. They nearly make contact on the way in. Ocon's got the position and moves back ahead and into 3rd place. Incredible stuff from these two. Piastri just tiptoeing around Parabolica on his way into the pits. He stayed ahead of George Russell the entire time since the Ferrari surrendered the lead on lap 9, and yet McLaren have once again got their tyre strategy wrong because Russell's grounding Parabolica now, and he pit 2 laps ago, so Russell will undercut Piastri for the race lead here. Ocon has pitted as well. He won't be as close, but this sets Oscar Piastri back significantly. He now has about 12 laps to reel the Mercedes back in now, but that will not be easy. Norris in the pits now from 4th and trying to stay 4th. Gasly and Tsunoda are next across the line. This will be close as there they are. Norris won't beat them out, but it'll be right behind their fight as Tsunoda on the inside trying to enter the top 5. Gasly gets the better exit. 2 former AlphaTauri teammates going at it for good points. Sainz trying to get ahead of Gasly as they come into Ascari, but Tsunoda is there as well, and Tsunoda sends it to the inside of both. Not without a wheel bang as well, but he's through. Gasly trying to come back at him coming out of chicane. We saw that move by Piastri earlier as well, sending a double move to the inside of Ascari, and it works for Tsunoda, but Gasly is staying attached. And look how this has allowed Norris to catch up to the back of these scraps. And Gasly and Sainz came together because they're going into the pits. Tsunoda continues, Norris continues, and Norris re-enters the top 5. Tsunoda has held on for a lap, but it's almost inevitable with the McLaren behind. Norris moves to the inside of Parabolica, and that's 4th place back for Lando Norris late in the race, with Ocon not far ahead. He'll know Norris is to his inside. He won't cover it off. They've battled already today, but this could be the deciding move. Lando Norris will have the place, and that could decide the last spot on the podium. From 5th at the start to dead last and back up onto the podium. Incredible recovery drive from Norris. That's Lance Stroll into the Della Rosa chicane. Oh, and his misjudged the exit, jumping the curb and into the gravel, and bringing lots of gravel back on track as Sainz and Gasly battle coming out of the chicane, and they're carrying speed. Stroll still recovering, and now 3 cars into Lesmo 1. Sainz leading them through, then Gasly, then Stroll. The Aston Martin now battling with the Alpine and trying to get back ahead, coming out of Lesmo 2. And Gasly again gets the better exit and stays ahead. Stroll will get a tow on the run towards Ascari, or he'll stay towards the outside and try to set up a move. Coming to the corner, oh, and Gasly goes too deep into the chicane. Stroll gets straight by, forcing him into a mistake, and Gasly has to rejoin safely, but there's tons of cars behind as Hamilton goes through, Verstappen goes through, yellow flags in the final sector as Antonelli goes by, and Hydro coming through. Gasly finds a gap and rejoins the track in 13th. Just misjudged his entry, and I'm sure Hadjar will displace him further now. And now he'll exit Ascari for the final time. He had gone 11 races without a win, which was his longest stretch without one in his career between Suzuka and Switzerland 2 races ago. But he didn't put a foot wrong today, waited patiently but close behind Piastri in the first stint, and was rewarded with the successful undercut. For his 15th win of his career and 3rd this season, George Russell will win the Monza Grand Prix. It also comes as his 30th podium and Mercedes' 50th podium in SF1. Oscar Piastri once again has to settle for 2nd place for the 4th consecutive race. Lando Norris recovers to beat out Esteban Ocon and take the final podium spot. Ocon with an extremely impressive 4th, proving his past experience in this race has served him well today. So George Russell returns to the top step of the podium, and his 15th win now means 50% of his podium finishes in his career are wins. Oscar Piastri has to once again settle for 2nd place. This is the 8th time this season he's finished 2nd, yet he is the first to 10 podiums this year. Lando Norris comes back to finish 3rd, just ahead of Esteban Ocon taking Haas's best result of 4th this year, and then Yuki Tsunoda takes his best result since his Red Bull debut at Suzuka in 5th. Fernando Alonso takes 6th, Nico Hülkenberg back in the points in 7th, Carlos Sainz in 8th, Lance Stroll taking 9th with the fastest lap, and Lewis Hamilton only salvaging a point. For the 2nd time this year, Max Verstappen will finish outside the points, but critically in a race where both McLarens are on the podium, and we'll look at the championship implications of that outcome. Italy's own Kimi Antonelli, as well as their other Ferrari and Charles Leclerc, both leave Monza scoreless. So the Drivers' Championship sees few position changes today, but Max Verstappen's championship lead has been vaporized to 1 point ahead of Lando Norris and 11 points ahead of Oscar Piastri. The top 3 may not have been this close at any point this season, and we're seeing it in round 16 of 21. This championship may very well go down to the season finale once again. George Russell with 3 straight podiums and 2 wins is 39 points back, still mathematically in it, but not likely to pull back into the fight, yet anything can happen. He's distanced himself well from the 2 Ferrari drivers, however. Biggest changes in the constructors today, Mercedes have overtaken Ferrari for 2nd and is now ahead by 16 points. It's been close all season, but Ferrari has started to drop the ball in the last 2 races. That is also bringing Red Bull closer into the mix, now 24 points off the Scuderia. The race for 9th place is heating up as Haas jumps ahead of Sauber. And remember, this battle is important because the 10th place finishing team is only allocated 1 car in the grid next season to make space for Cadillac's 1 entry, unless the grid limit is increased in a future update. So that does it for Monza, and that also marks the end of the European leg of the season. George Russell caps it off with a win. We return to Japan next time out for the Kyoto Grand Prix, so subscribe to stay tuned, and we'll see you then on Project SF1.